This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in California. I am here with Valas Coaching. Since 2017, they've been teaching leaders to better understand what their organization defines as a success profile, while helping them achieve a positive, sustainable, and measurable result. I'm joined with the leadership coach, Curt Crosby. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you, Gary, for having me. I look forward to chatting for a few minutes.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. You received your formal education at San Jose State and the University of Southern California. You have over a quarter of a century of practical leadership experience in the high-tech industry. You have worked in quality management, worldwide sales as a vice president, senior director, but in 2017, you tapped into decades of experience and you became an executive coach. Share with me a little bit why this was a good fit for you.
Yeah, Gary, thank you. As you've mentioned, I spent a lot of time in executive leadership, primarily here in Silicon Valley and working in the high tech industry. And I think what I came to realize over the number of years that I was in the corporate world, that a lot of my passion came from being able to work with my senior leaders in helping them to develop professionally. And so I think my buzz and my passion over the last 7 years in now being a full-time executive leadership coach is really helping leaders, as I did and had leaders helping me, really adapt and thrive in the business world. And so that's really where my passion is now. I was fortunate enough to pivot, and as a result, I've been doing executive leadership coaching with leaders all over the world, primarily, of course, in the United States and Canada, Latin America. But that's what I do full time, and I love it.
That is great. I mean, the need for effective leadership probably has never been greater. I mean, why do you feel the services you provide are maybe more in need today, really, than ever before?
Yeah, it's been interesting, Gary. Obviously, post pandemic, as we're coming out of this thing, and certainly some of the challenges we've had with the economic environment, world environment, I think companies are recognizing the value of ensuring that their leaders are taking care of their people. The kind of leadership development and coaching that we do is focused around behavioral, cognitive coaching and leadership attributes. What do leaders need to do in order to be able to take care of their people, ensure that they're adapting, that they're thriving, and that they feel good about the businesses that they support? I think leadership recognizes now more than ever that because people have choices about where they are, that professional development is a very important aspect of what they believe is important to thrive in their own careers. So leaders that have a chance to take on coaches like myself have the ability then to understand better how to support their people.
I mean, you help leaders better understand what their organization defines as a success profile. So, first explain what is a success profile? Kind of give me an example of that.
Yeah, I think Gary, actually I like to use simple models when I talk to my leadership, especially as we at Valas Coaching are talking to prospective organizations that are interested in bringing in coaches. And when I talk to senior leadership about a success profile, I usually net it out to a simple model. The two R's. Leaders need to have results. That's a very important aspect of being successful in business. And typically, as leaders have been successful and risen through the ranks, results are a primary way that they get there. The second R, though, in those two R's are relationships. And that's an element of leadership that is not always, you're not always born with necessarily. Many leaders are. However, as you continue to rise through the ranks, sometimes sometimes relationships take a bit of a back seat. And as a result, what we're doing as coaching is helping leaders understand that relationships are almost as important as being able to achieve company results. So this is a big part of a success profile of our leaders that we work with, is getting them to recognize to put the emphasis on relationships of their people, understanding what their people need, and of course, achieving business results.
Interesting. So taking a proactive approach there. I mean, simply just knowing what your profile is not enough. I mean, how the public perceives you relative to that profile really is the second vital component to what you provide. Why is that
Yes.
important, and why do those two need to line up?
Absolutely correct. And I'll give you an example briefly of how this works. I mean, obviously, we like measurable results as we work as coaches. And what we do, providing 360 assessments, is really understand how people perceive you as a leader in the business world. And if a leader, for example, needs to work on his or her executive presence, and that is a perception of those around them, it's not only important that the leader works on and adapts and modifies his or her style to be better from an executive leadership presence perspective, but it's an important aspect that also those around them have a change in perception of that individual as they continue to develop their executive presence. So this is not an overnight activity. Coaching spans a number of months in order for these leaders to truly make some changes that's going to take them to the next level in their career.
All right, let's touch on a little bit how this is done then, how it's accomplished. You begin with individual coaching. Where and how does this coaching take place? Is this done in person, in the workplace, online? Share.
Yeah, great question. Absolutely, we have variations. I mean, typically we like to sit down face to face with our clients, and this is a cadence typically that happens every couple of weeks for about an hour's period of time. Obviously, during the pandemic, we became very comfortable with Zoom and video technology. So I would say probably even 70 to 80% of our work now is working through video platforms. But with that, of course, we'd like to be able to work one-on-one, face-to-face. Best is to be able to go into the offices, and certainly within the Bay Area, we're able to do that. We do have several clients across the United States who will pay for us to come in and work with their teams, work with individuals. And typically, the coaching opportunities run 6 to 9 months, sometimes a year. Sometimes clients re-up and want to continue having a coach indefinitely, and we can accommodate that situation as well.
So it's quite a process. I mean, today organizations that can deal with increasingly rapid changes, I mean, they're the ones that adapt and they thrive. How does the team coaching take place, and who can be involved in that? I mean, is it the whole organization?
Yeah, that's a great question. We love actually team engagements, and this is a key part of our business, and we believe a differentiator in terms of how we work with our clients. Typically, we like to start at the top. We like to work with the CXOs, the CEOs, to help them build a coaching culture. And what we do is we develop a contract that allows the team, the C-suite team, to be able to come together with us as facilitators for a couple of days to understand how to work together as a team. What is the aspirational goal associated with what the team wants to accomplish? And with that, we then also work to identify what each one of those leaders need to do in order to better come to the table to support that team environment. And with that, we spend 6 months with a team checking in with them periodically, typically quarter by quarter, but also the individual leaders within that team get their own one-on-one coaching as they work on things that they want to develop as it relates to supporting their C-suite team. So it's a great way to be able to incorporate team building along with coaching for the ability for this team to adapt and thrive together.
Let me ask you this. The need to build effective teams is increasing, yet the time available to build these teams is often decreasing. Is efficiency critical to your success with limited time resource?
Absolutely. I mean, again, we work and customize our coaching solutions to the needs of the customer. We can have everything from 3-month tactical coaching engagements where we focus very specifically on a key attribute of a leader that needs, let's say, support in being a better active listener, support in developing their people, support in motivating others, support in building trust within their team. All of these elements of leadership behavior are things that we can work on fairly efficiently to accomplish and see a change and an adaptation within a few, short months. Or we can take a longer term approach where we're working with a team or an executive who simply wants to have a coach there to help themselves hold them accountable, help themselves be accountable to the things that they say they want to be able to make changes in their leadership style. So again, it can run from as little as 3 months of a coaching engagement all the way up to a year and beyond.
I mean, the Valas approach seems simple, but as you say, it will not be easy. I mean, it requires input and self-improvement from everyone. As I learn to work as a team, is that how positive, sustainable, and measurable results are become possible?
Absolutely. And in fact, we start with the key executive, be it a CEO, be it a CIO, a CTO, a sales leader, to ensure that they know what their responsibility is in supporting that team in a coaching environment. We work with them to recognize that they're not only the leader, but they're also a team player. And so they have very distinctive roles that we help coach them through in order to recognize the difference between leading the team, which is a key part of their job, and actually also being a team player so that everybody has a chance to be able to be the creative element of how this team moves together.
Exciting. I mean, you're able to help new and existing managers really to become the leaders that everyone wants to have. Um,
Right.
is it rewarding for them, but is it also rewarding for you to be part of that success?
Well, I mean, it's very rewarding to me as we started the call. I mean, this is my passion, and this is the passion of our coaches at Valas Coaching. To see the light bulbs go off, to see the sustained changes that happen as a result of minor tweaks in many cases. I mean, we work with, Gary, very successful, high performing leaders. Uh, Coaching in the past used to be about working with leaders that were about to be fired or were performance problems. That is not the case. We now work with only high performers. And as a result, a lot of times the changes are fairly subtle, but there's an old adage, what got you here won't necessarily get you there. And as a result, we want to work on those subtle changes to continue to move the bar.
But even subtle changes with high achievers, you can see it. I mean, it really is something that can be seen across the board. That's exciting. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is the website. On the website, you learn more about this team that is making this possible. You can see all their coaching services there as well, be it individual or team coaching. They have great resources and links right there on the website as well. It's really as easy as scheduling a call today. Once again, that is Valas Coaching since 2017, forging resilient leaders to adapt and thrive. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.